Boy, it's Wednesday, y'all. Wednesday. It's hump day. That awkward middle day of the week when your coffee's lost its magic, your patience is running low, and you're staring at your to-do list like it has personally offended you. Where Friday seems so far from reality, you wish it were whiskey o'clock right meow. But guess what? You made it this far. So welcome to the Salty Goddess Podcast, your midweek guilty pleasure. You know, the one you don't tell your friends about because you don't want them stealing your source of truth bombs and salty wisdom, or because you may not realize that mine may not be everybody's shot of whiskey. But they're adults. Let them be the judge of that and make sure to share. I mean, no judgment, really. It's your space for audacious authenticity and those hard truths you secretly crave. Because let's be real, if you're dragging today, you probably need a little salty commentary to appropriately season the rest of your week. And I'm here for it. Now, before we dive in, let's keep it real. I know you're loving this, so don't keep it all to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, share this episode with someone who needs a midweek rescue, and leave a review so the algorithm reflects how worth it we are. I mean, you didn't think I'd give you all this sass and salt for free? Remember, our most valuable currency is time. And you had to know. I was going to ask for a little bit of love in return, didn't you? All right. Enough foreplay. Let's get into it. It's hump day, y'all. We've got things to check off that to-do list. And let's make sure you get over the hump like the badass that you are. All right, let's get into it. It's hump day. Hump day. All right, nothing kills your climb faster than dragging some dead weight around, right? So let's talk about how we're going to drop that. Okay. Let's talk about, and I'm not talking about heavy metals or lead or any of that crap. You know what I'm talking about. It's not just, toxic masculinity. There's all kinds of toxicity in society. And we have been taught about this, and it's been implied, implicit bias, you name it, it's happening. Okay? Now, why? Why does it happen? Because somewhere along the line, humans decided that if we set a standard and then people don't meet that standard, then they have less value. They are less than. Which is a crock of shit, okay? Your skin color, your language, your religion, your gender, your sex, your sexual orientation, where you live, what you drive, your income bracket. None of those things, none of them, determine your value as a human being. Period. And then I don't give a crap what anybody says, because it's not true. It's not. These value systems have been put in place to stratify society and literally give us layers or levels of value. It's all a construct meant at oppression and control. Now, in one of the first episodes, I talked about victimhood. Okay? I won't be victimized by toxicity because I don't ascribe to it and I don't give a shit what anybody thinks about my income level, how many children I have or do not have, how many times I've been married, what I drive, how much education I've got or I don't have. None of that shit matters. Okay? And you're not better than someone else. And you're not less than someone else. We all, every single person has value. inextricably, without a doubt. And I mean, listen, let's be frank, okay? Toxic masculinity has been like the buzzword, right? We've all been talking about it. But the truth is, there is toxicity all over the place. Now, I was meeting someone face to face for the first time, and we talked about our backgrounds and our history and all that stuff. And this individual said, "Oh, well, you probably aren't going to think very much of me because I XYZ." Didn't click a specific box that this individual thought I would feel gave them value. I almost lost my mind. I said, no, it doesn't matter to me if you're white, black, brown, yellow, blue. Doesn't matter to me if you've been married, not been married. I don't care. Because that does not make you a great person. It doesn't. It can't. And end of discussion. Period. And I have to tell you, I'm kind of blown away that in 2025, that there are people that still ascribe to this crap. Okay? We see it even at work, right? And EMTs and paramedics, nurses and CNAs, physicians, nurse practitioners. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. One of the smartest people that I have ever known didn't even get out of the 9th grade. Didn't even get out of the 9th grade. And had more common sense and more real world knowledge and experience than people with multiple masters or doctorates. Plain and simple. Okay? I'm not about to sit here and hang out with a group of people that play that kind of game. I'm just not. And I'm going to tell you the reason why. I'm going to tell you why I don't feel it's appropriate for me to put a value on something, because those are people's personal choices. And it's none of my business. Just like my personal choices are none of their business. I don't care what political party you're a part of. I don't care what church you go to. I don't care if you don't go to church. I don't care if you believe in organized religion or not. I don't care if you dance naked by the full moon with flowers in your hair. More power to you. Okay? I mean, okay, hold up though. I do draw the line. Do you drive a Ford? Because I ain't about all that. Chevrolet all day. Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? It might be true though. Because I do prefer Chevrolet. But do you really think, even though I joke incessantly about Ford drivers, do you really think that I believe that someone that drives a Ford doesn't have the same value as me? No, I mean, I think they have poor judgment skills, bad taste, but that doesn't make them any less valuable. I definitely know it's a Ford driver when they're driving poorly on the road, before I even get right up on the back end and see that it's a Ford. Yeah. But I don't think that that individual necessarily has less value than me. It's not appropriate. And when you stratify people by those constructs, you're actually victimizing yourself, because you're running the risk of cutting somebody out of your sphere for something that, one, is really none of your business. I'm about to swear. None of your business. And two, it's a made-up construct. Driving a Chevrolet doesn't make me any better than someone that drives a Ford. That's my construct. Since when do I get to build the standard by which everybody else should live? Or, handle their lives? I don't, and neither do you, and neither does anybody else. Period. End of discussion. So do me a favor, don't come at me and try to have those conversations with me. Don't. Because I won't. And I don't care. And I will actually look at you and realize that your bias affects how you connect with other people and how you interact with other people. And that says a lot about who you are as a person. Period. Okay? Your character is your value, not your income, not your home, not your car, okay? Not what college you went to, how many degrees you've got, how many certifications you've got, post-nominal letters. I got a shit ton of them. Does that make me super special? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Okay? I get up every day at 4 a.m. Does that make me special? I don't go to bed till midnight every night. Does that make me special? Yeah, I get about 3 to 5 hours of sleep a day. That's it. Does that mean that I have more value than somebody who sleeps 8 hours a day? No. Y'all are out there wilding with this crap. Honestly. And y'all wonder why people are at each other's throats all the time. I don't have time for this crap. I just don't. Okay? And you want to know why we're all having this conversation, or why I'm having this conversation with you right now? You want to know why? Because somebody sent me a message. I'm not playing this game, people. I am not everybody's shot of whiskey. I know that, but I don't care. Because my value is not based on what your thoughts or opinions are. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Abso-freaking-lutely you are. But your opinion is yours and yours alone. And it doesn't have any bearing on my confidence level, on my skills, my abilities, my competence. And you can try all day to look down your nose. Feel free. My lifestyle may not be for everybody, and that's okay. You keep on driving your Ford, and I'm going to keep on driving my Chevrolet. Okay? Plain and simple. It does not mean one person has more value than the other. I'm sorry. Right? And this wasn't even supposed to be today's podcast. But this is what makes me salty. This is what makes me salty. You make this snap decision that somebody didn't check off a box. Oh, they're wearing skinny jeans. Oh, they have on too much makeup. Oh, they color their hair. Oh, they have less value. I have news for you. At the end of the day, we all still need that, what is it, 2,000 degrees in the crematorium? We all go down. 100% compliance, my friends. Ain't a single person here going to get out alive, because everything that lives must die. We are all equal in that. This ain't the movie The Highlander, and we ain't from the Clan MacLeod. No one is going to live forever. There is no more value than another. And it would do y'all well to see that, and to know that, and to incorporate it, and to teach your children that. Okay? Because it is 2025. We are supposed to be the most advanced civilization, the most advanced species on this planet. Sharks get along better with each other. Lions and tigers do. Get out of here with your crap. I ain't got time for this shit. Y'all need to grow up. You need to get a life. You need to figure your crap out. Because what that really is, that's fear. Fear of the unknown. There's no confidence and there's no competence in fear. We had that discussion last podcast. You stick to those biases. You stick to that old, way of doing things. And that's all it is old. Tired, worn out. Like a really, really old pair of jeans that you hang on to because you just can't let it go. it says more about you than the person that you are judging and that you are deciding is not worth your time and effort. And it's sad. Remember what I said, your character is your value, your integrity, your honor, and your honesty. Those are the things that bring value to a person. Not the clothes they wear, the jewelry they have. None of that crap matters. And I'm really kind of blown away that for as much as we have as humans, we are literally still living in the Stone Age when it comes to thought processes and given grace. Period. I'm almost embarrassed. I often wonder if an alien were to circle the planet, take a listen in to some conversations, and hear some of the crap that spews from individuals, what they would think. Kind of feel like they've take it out of park and get out of Dodge real super quick. Because most advanced civilization, my ass. Not even close. So maybe that's your challenge, your call to action this week, is to self-reflect and see what biases do you have that interfere with your ability to interact with others or realize someone else has value. Now, do we all have biases? Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's why I like a Chevrolet. That's what my daddy liked. Okay? And biases are okay, right? That's why I drink Jameson or Canada Dry Ginger Ale. When they become a problem is when you allow them to interfere with the way you interact with another human being. Because there's no fact in your bias. It's a preference. It's not fact. It's not written in stone. You can't do a scientific experiment to prove your hypothesis. It will never bear out. So the only thing it's going to bear out is that you're small-minded. So you have to learn that some of the things that were taught to us, whether implicitly taught or openly taught, okay, that they can be wrong, inaccurate. How about we use the term inaccurate? I think inaccurate is a kinder, gentler, more graceful way to say it's bullshit, because that's what it is. Yeah, it's bull. And when we continue to perpetuate those types of things, the next generation will suffer the same level of toxicity. All right? Listen, some of y'all like tripe. Some of y'all like oysters. I like tiramisu, chocolate mincemeat pie, and fruitcake. Okay? Those are preferences. It doesn't make you bad, doesn't make me bad. And why are we doing that to other people? I see y'all eating hot dogs all summer. I don't eat them. I think they're gross. Does that mean I wouldn't invite you over? I'll even serve you hot dogs at my house if that's what you like. But, no. I don't decide that that's your value because you prefer something that I don't. It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me that as interconnected as we all are, we use platforms like social media to perpetuate this kind of crazy shit. It's so unnecessary. It's a waste of that valuable currency we were talking about. Time. Time? The most valuable currency you'll ever own, and you want to waste it talking about somebody else not having value because they don't live in the same affluent neighborhood that you do, or they don't have the same income level that you do, or they have 12 kids, so they have less value, or they have no kids, so they have no value. That's crazy. What? You don't want to have kids, don't have kids. I don't see that as a value proposition there at all. I don't know how humanity has lasted as long as it has with this type of behavior, this type of thought process, this mentality. I don't get it. I don't. But we do know that's why there's war. Y'all are crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Y'all should be sad. Sad as all get out. All right? So, reflect. Check it out. See what you really think. Okay? Some of our biases we don't even realize we have. I will tell you that. I know that for a fact. Because the first time I went to buy a Suburban, I couldn't figure out why everyone that I had looked at that had the double doors in the back, I was like, I don't want that one. I don't want that one. Oh, this is a really nice one. It's got everything I want, but I don't want them doors. And I couldn't figure out why I felt that way. And then it was probably like maybe 4 months after I bought my Suburban. I'm driving down the road. This is in New York because that's where I used to live. I live in South Carolina now. And I pulled up behind the coroner's unit. The coroner's unit had double doors. So somewhere in my EMS career, I developed a bias toward double doors. And I got instead what they called a lift gate at the time, where the window rolled down in the back and then the back end opened up like the back end of a pickup truck. You know what's funny though? I can't tell you how many times I had wished I had the double doors when I had difficulty lifting things into and out of that truck across that tailgate because my center of gravity was off reaching across. So we come to our biases in different ways. The most important thing to understand about a bias is that it's yours and yours alone, and to recognize that you do have it. And then make sure that even though you've got a bias, that you take that step back and evaluate the situation without applying the bias first. Okay? Plain and simple. I remember when a friend of mine was over once for a party, and I went to hand their child a piece of cheese. And immediately the parent said, "Oh, you're not going to like that." The child took a bite and spit it out. Why do you think they did that? Because their parent told them they weren't going to like it. A few years later, that child was at a friend's house and had cheese and loved it. Yes, it was the same type of cheese. But it's funny how we are influenced by what other people say to us, what other people do in front of us. Sometimes we pick up our bias not even just from straightforward verbal cues. I remember a patient who was morbidly obese calling for an ambulance, and we got on scene and we went in, and unfortunately she was at the back of the house and I was going to need the fire department. And I wondered why this patient waited so long to call for assistance. She was very, very ill, and I was deeply concerned that getting her out of that home wasn't going to happen in time, and I needed assistance. My partner and myself could not lift her on our own. She was above the 400-pound weight threshold, okay? So I needed the fire department. And I was speaking to her, and she told me that she was embarrassed and she felt bad, and that's why she waited so long. Because the last time she called, it appeared that whoever was caring for her was frustrated with having to lift her out of the home and needing assistance. What she didn't realize is that they weren't frustrated with her. They were concerned, just like I was concerned. We don't realize that paramedic walked in her room and went like that because they knew immediately they weren't going to be able to get her out fast enough. I felt the same way. And that's the reason why she waited. We have an effect on others based on our interaction with them. And we need to learn better communication skills. And we need to understand that we do have biases. It's all right to have them as long as they don't interfere with your ability to interact with those around you. And that you're not imposing those biases on the younger generation or other people. All right? It's not appropriate. I feel like I've been on my soapbox and I feel bad. But it's the truth. As human beings and the apex predator of this planet and the most advanced species on this planet, and we can't get past bias. It's unconscionable, to be totally frank. So that's part of your know better, do better, be better call to action and accountability, because only you can continue to grow when you're aware of each of the things that inhibit your growth, that block your growth. And again, bias and this toxic mentality, that's not competence, and that's not confidence. And that's not a place I'd want to dwell. I wouldn't want to hang out there. You shouldn't want to either. And you shouldn't want future generations to do that either. Well, so much for hump day and helping you get through it. Now you know why they call me salty. Because there's a lot of situations like that that make me really salty. Horribly salty. So take a moment, reflect, assess, and take the time to understand that every single person at the table has value. Not just those that check certain boxes on some fake standard that somebody else made. Plain and simple. You could have all the money in the world, you could have all the nicest cars, live in the nicest neighborhood, and have the crappiest character. I won't break bread with you. Because you're not worthy of my most valuable currency. And that's my time. All right, so I guess I've kind of really been a Debbie Downer today, I feel like. Not cool. But I think it's important that it's brought out into the open and it's discussed. Right? The important things are character, okay? Personal opinions, why I don't discuss politics, religion, money, and all that crap, because the people that are close to me know my feelings about those things. I'm not going to get on the internet and change anybody's mind about who they support politically, about how they're going to spend their money going forward, or about what religion they're going to follow, okay? I'm not doing that on the internet. And I'm going to tell you why, because it's not my business. It's not my business. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. And what I do is not your business either. whether or not I'm on a podcast, whether or not I make a post on social media. It's not your business. So let's all get right with that and start being better about it. And I can see a lot of improvement. Do I think it's going to happen? I won't. I'm not going to lie. I don't. Because people cling to their truth. They cling to what they know. Because stepping outside that box is uncomfortable. But it's also where growth takes place. So challenge yourselves, challenge your friends, challenge everybody around you. Because we should all do better. And we should also make sure that we're helping the next generation to do better. Boy, do I sound preachy today. That wasn't my plan either. All right, well, listen. Stay salty, stay savage. But don't stay biased and don't be toxic. Be kind and give grace. And until next hump day, be sure to subscribe. I'm sure more crap's going to come up. Well, it is Wednesday. It is hump day, y'all. Nothing kills your climb faster than dragging a little bit of dead weight. So let's talk about how we're going to drop that dead weight. Let's talk about something that is near and dear to my heart, toxicity, and how it interferes with your ability to grow. There are many forms of toxicity, from masculine, feminine, work, all of it. And honestly, we talked about the value of currency. And the most valuable currency is your time. But let's talk about the fact that throughout history, we have been subjected to campaigns of toxicity that basically tell us that if someone else doesn't click all the boxes on the checklist, that they have less value than someone who does. And it's a load of bullshit. And it's something that really irritates the living crap out of me. You cannot grow. You cannot be amazing if you believe that someone else who doesn't wear the same clothing that you wear, dine at the same restaurants, follow the same religion, drive the same car, live in the same neighborhood, have the same income bracket as you, is less than and has less value than you do. It's wrong. It's inappropriate. And quite frankly, it's not very kind either. And I'm not saying that I'm always kind, because I'm not. I know that individuals think that I'm harsh, I'm mean, that it's, I'm too salty, I'm rude, etc. That's fine. Okay? Those individual personal traits are one thing. But to believe that someone else does not bring the same value, that is inappropriate. It's not how in 2025 any of us should be thinking. End of discussion. Boy, it's Wednesday, y'all. Wednesday. It's hump day. That awkward middle day of the week when your coffee's lost its magic, your patience is running low, and you're staring at your to-do list like it has personally offended you. Where Friday seems so far from reality, you wish it were whiskey o'clock right meow. But guess what? You made it this far. So welcome to the Salty Goddess Podcast, your midweek guilty pleasure. You know, the one you don't tell your friends about because you don't want them stealing your source of truth bombs and salty wisdom. or because you may not realize that mine may not be everybody's shot of whiskey, but they're adults. Let them be the judge of that and make sure to share. I mean, no judgment, really. It's your space for audacious authenticity and those hard truths you secretly crave. Because let's be real, if you're dragging today, you probably need a little salty commentary to appropriately season the rest of your week. And I'm here for it. Now, before we dive in, let's keep it real. I know you're loving this, so don't keep it all to yourself. Hit that subscribe button, share this episode with someone who needs a midweek rescue, and leave a review so the algorithm reflects how worth it we are. I mean, you didn't think I'd give you all this sass and salt for free? Remember, our most valuable currency is time. And you had to know I was going to ask for a little bit of love in return, didn't you? All right. Enough foreplay. Let's get into it. It's hump day, y'all. We've got things to check off that to-do list. And let's make sure you get over the hump like the badass that you are.